Guten Morgen, guten Tag, guten Abend. So this is just a little video on pronunciation and phonetics. If you find that helpful, if you would like to practice your pronunciation, then you can go through this video and say the words after me, and then hopefully you start to feel more confident with your pronunciation. So Aussprache means pronunciation. And then we're going to look at some vowels first, especially some umlauted vowels, because umlauts are tricky because we don't have those in English. So the closest sound to English, the closest sound in English to the German ö is the vowel in good. Ö, ö. It's slightly different. So good, ö, ö. But they're very close. And the closest thing we have in English is good, ö. It's just a little bit tighter. So good, ö. The lips come forward a little bit, but it's very similar. So let's look at the O in German is also different from the English O. So both of these are unique sounds that you learn when you start learning German. They exist in other languages besides German, obviously, but not in English. So let's look at the O and the Ö. So there are short versions and long versions. So that makes a difference as well. So let's look at short O, which is actually Tochter. So Tochter means daughter, Tochter. Oh, so Tochter. And then this one is oft, oft. Yeah, so oft and Tochter, Tochter, short, yeah, Tochter. But now we have the Ö, so to make plural, this is daughter, singular, Tochter, but then the plural is Töchter. So you actually add an umlaut to make a plural in this case, and it changes the sound entirely. So the difference between Tochter and Töchter, Töchter, Töchter. And then oft in the comparative, meaning more often, it's öfter. So oft, öfter. So repeat these ones after me. Tochter, Töchter. Oft, öfter. Yeah, so Tochter, oft. Töchter, öfter. Okay, so now we have the long versions. The long O is, it can sound a little bit like oo to an English speaker sometimes. So there's a difference between oo and o. So in English, the way we say O is like with a diphthong, we say oh, or American English anyway. We have these vowels that like get dragged on, and diphthongs are two vowels that are pronounced as one. So when you say oh, there's like a lot of different vowels going on there. And in German, it's just one sound, and it can sound like oo at first, but it's actually o. So this one is Sohn, Sohn, and this one is schon. So you hear a difference between Sohn and Sohn. Sohn is not a word in German, but if it were an oo sound, o versus oo. But if you just hear o by itself, sometimes it sounds like oo to people. Yeah. So Sohn, schon. And then the long Ö is very similar to the short one, just pronounced longer. And that H is indicates a long one. And also, if you just have one consonant after a vowel, that indicates just one. That indicates a long vowel, as opposed to a short vowel will typically have two consonants following it. Okay, so Söhne, schön. So you hear the difference between Sohn and Söhne. Sohn, Söhne. Schon, schön. Schon, schön. Yeah, so the umlaut, schon means already, and schön means beautiful or nice. So adding the umlaut changes this. It's a different vowel entirely. It's not just an accent or something. It's a different vowel. And so when you change the vowel, you can sometimes change the word entirely to something that means completely different. So this is just a singular. The Sohn and Söhne is just a singular plural situation. Same as Tochter, Töchter, daughter, daughters. Sohn, Söhne, son, sons. Yeah. So then schon, schön, these are completely different words. Yeah, already and beautiful or nice. So that's what this Ö is the closest to good in English, and then Töchter, öfter, Söhne, schön. Töchter, yeah. So that's the O and the Ö, and then we have the A and the E. So German A sounds like English father and has a shorter and a longer version. And then short sounds similar to English bed. And then long sounds like English eight, or similar. Not exactly, but similar. So let's look at some of these. We have the short a, which is, as you might expect, alt a. So either a short or long version of a, but they sound basically the same. Alt. And then, so alt, Mann. Alt, Mann. Let's look at the long just to compare the short and the long. So this is Vater, Schwager. So this is, of course, father, and Schwager means brother-in-law. So let's do this again. Alt, Mann. Vater, Schwager. So that's A. But then the A with the umlaut, is then a very different sounding vowel. So with the short one, we have älter, Männer. So this is the comparative, old, older, and this is the plural, man, men. And in English, we actually change the vowel to make the plural of men, man, men. We actually change the vowel to make a plural of that in English as well. So älter, Männer. Alt, älter, Mann, Männer. So this one is short. Sounds like English bed. So älter, Männer. And then we have the long version, which sounds similar to English eight, It's a little bit tighter. So we say eight. It's a very long open vowel, eight. But then this one it sounds similar, but it's tighter. So e. So your mouth is just more closed. So Väter, Schwägerin. So this is father, fathers, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. Yeah. So let's compare these. Vater, Väter, Schwager, Schwägerin. Vater, Väter, Schwager, Schwägerin. Yeah. Okay, so let's try the U. Maybe these are the most fun ones, I think. U and U. So there's no English equivalent to U. In French, it does exist, and it's tu, like when you say, there's the word for you, the equivalent of du in German is tu, and they don't put an umlaut on it, but you just have to know that that's how that's pronounced. When you have just the U by itself in French, it's actually a U umlaut in German. And then, but if you have the OU in French, then it's like tu. It's like the normal. I have a German accent when I speak French nowadays. But anyway, the OU in French is what you would consider a normal U sound. And then just the U by itself is U. So that exists. If you study French, maybe that's helpful. But English doesn't have anything quite like it. So observe your mouth shape while saying E. So the I meaning E. This is the German version, E. So let's just look at the mouth shape, E. We have a wide mouth when we say E. So like a flat, wide mouth. Our lips are wide, and the whole, your tongue is up towards the hard palate, E, right? E. Now, let's observe the mouth shape while saying ooh. Ooh, obviously our lips are rounded. Ooh, and then there's a lot of space in the mouth, so you have a round shape in your mouth as well. Ooh. Ooh is like a big round shape with tight, round lips. So ooh. Now, when we want to make the U sound, it's sort of a combination of these two sounds. So you start saying E, and then round your lips as if you're going to say ooh, but in your head, try to continue to say E, but you're rounding your lips as if you're going to go on to say ooh. So that will give us the U. So E, U, 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 E, U, 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 U. So you have your lips rounded, but in your brain, you're trying to say E, but you can't say E because your lips are rounded. So I don't know why that works. It's just a trick. That's how the brain works. So E, 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 E. Okay, so get your lips into the U shape and then try to say E. And that will give you U, U. Yeah. Okay, so of course there's long versions and short versions. So let's compare the U and the Ü. So the short U is just Mutter. Oh, it's not like U exactly. It's just the very short version. So Mutter, Mutter. Yeah. So Mutter. Sorry, Mutter. Yeah. Jung. Mutter. Jung. Mutter. Jung. But now let's compare. The short Ü is a little hard to recognize. It's not as obvious as the long one. So this is Mutter and Jünger. So these two are the hardest to distinguish at the beginning of learning German. So I think when I started learning German, I couldn't even hear the difference. But eventually, you'll be able to hear the difference. So Mutter, Mütter, Jung, Jünger. Mutter, Mütter, Jung, Jünger. Yeah. And then this is the long U, the normal U without the umlaut. Bruder, Buch. Bruder, Buch. And then for the plural of brother, brothers, we have Brüder and Bücher. So here's where we really get this vowel we were practicing. Brüder, Bücher, Ü, 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 Ü. Brüder, Bücher. Yeah, so let's do these long ones again one more time. Bruder, Brüder, Buch, Bücher. Okay, so the Y actually has the same sound as the Ü. So once you've learned to make the Ü, you can use that for any time a Y happens. The Y doesn't happen very often because it's not a, it didn't exist in Germanic languages until there were some Greek and Latin loan words that came in. So I think these are mostly Greek loan words where you get the Ü. So Psychologie, you have to pronounce the P as well. Psychologie, Gymnasium. Okay, let's go slower so you can repeat. Psychologie, Gymnasium, Sylt, hysterisch, Lyrik, typisch. Yeah, so just imagine the Ü in there. And then we have F, V, and W. F and V are both pronounced like English F. So we have Faber, Frei, and Hof. And those are all Fs, just like in English, they're Fs here. So not too tricky. But then compare the V's. The V in German is pronounced the same as the F, so not like a V in English. Volk. So it could just be the F. It would sound just like an F, right? So Volk, which of course means folk. So let's do these. Volk. Vier. Viel. Volk. Vier. Viel. And then the German W is pronounced like an English V. So we have was, wie, wie viel, wo, woher, wagen, auf Wiedersehen, wie geht's, willkommen, Volkswagen, VW, Bayerische Motorenwerke, BMW. So Volkswagen is a good way to remember both of them because Volk has the F sound of the V, and then the W has the V sound you would expect in English. And then, of course, abbreviated, that's VW. That's just how you say those letters, right? VW. And then Bayerische Motorenwerke, is, of course, BMW. So you say the letter W-V, right? So it's pronounced that way as well. And then we have Z. So Z is pronounced like English, TS as in hits, or pizza, TS. So we have, for example, zwei. So you can imagine a TS at the beginning of the word. Zwei. 10. 20. Zombie. Zeit. Pizza. Zwiebel. Leipzig. Graz. So at the beginning of the word, you have to think about that TS. So that's probably the hardest place to pronounce it. Zwei. But then in the middle of a word, you can just think about a TS there. So of course, pizza in English, but then pizza, the vowel is different as well. Pizza. Ich möchte eine Pizza. I would like a pizza. Ich möchte eine Pizza. And then here we have Leipzig, Leipzig, and then Graz. So that's like a TS. It can be at the end as well. Graz. Some fun cities to visit. Then we have, these are very tricky diphthongs. We have IE, which is I, and then so EI, which is I, and then IE, which is E. So we'll compare Wein, Wien. So Wein is, of course, wine, and then Wien is Vienna. Wein, Wien. Sein, sie. Dein, die. Bei, Bier. Leider, Lieder. Seit, sieht. Leicht, viel. Einstein, Biologie. Yeah. So it's easy with these two. It's easy just to pick. The easiest way, I think, is to pick two words that are kind of intuitive to you and remember and use them and to remember which is which. So Einstein, you already know how to spell Einstein, so that you know how to pronounce Einstein or Einstein, right? Einstein, that's another phonetic feature, the ST. But so Einstein, so that's the IE. And then all of these words, like the ology words in German, Psychologie, we just had psychology, and then biology, all of those types of words are just spelled with the IE at the end, which is like the Y. In English, we have the Y and the IE. That's how we pluralize a word that ends in Y, actually, like baby with the Y, and then babies, IE. So Y and IE are very similar. And in German, we have the IE at the end of the words that would have the Y in English. So you can think of E here, Biologie, IE, Biologie, E. Okay, so now we have a few practice sentences. So you can repeat after me. Wie viel ist 3 und 4? Drei und 4 ist 7. Wie heißen Sie? Ich heiße Ziegler. Das ist nicht mein Bier. Die Schweiz ist eine Demokratie. Dieter und Melanie reisen in die Schweiz. Okay, And now we have some more diphthongs related to those. So I, this is the I again, we just had that. But there's also a couple ways to spell it. These are much more rare, but they are other ways to spell it. So I is the standard one in most words. You're going to have I, like mine, dein, arbeiten, Einstein. But in some cases, it's spelled EY. So Maya. It's pretty rare, mostly for names. Maya. Yeah, it's an old spelling. In a couple hundred years ago, that one showed up more, but it's been in the spelling reforms. It's usually turned into EI. But if you're reading a historical text, sometimes you'll see sort of normal words, not names, but all sorts of other words with the EY instead. It's the same. Yeah. And then this one happens sometimes. Oh, that one's Maya should be in the other category, the next category. But Mai, of course, means May. Yeah, Mai meaning May. And then Kaiser, Kaiser means emperor, like Caesar, right? Kaiser. So that's Mai and Kaiser are modern spellings. And then Dubai. Yeah. Yeah, Maya belongs over there. There's two ways to spell Maya. People's names, you know how it is. You can spell people's names different ways. And then, of course, Frankfurt am Main. Main, it looks like Maine English, but it's actually Main, the name of the river. Main. So you can see how Main, the possessive, my, and then Main is pronounced the same. Main, Main. And then also in rare cases, the AY, like Bayern, which is Bavaria, Bayern, Bayreuth, which is a city in Bavaria. So Bayern, Bayreuth, Mayo, very important word, Mayo, which is of course mayonnaise. Yeah, Mayo, Mayo. Okay, so and of course we have some of these. We had a few examples already, but to show you again, wie, wer, wann, wie viel, warum, wo, Wagen, Volkswagen. And then these are all the same. These are the F and the, we had the F and the V already, but we need to look at the PH as well. So let's compare all of these. So fünf, Frau, Familie, für, Vater, viel, vier, bevor, Physik, Philosophie. Yeah, so just the PH is the same as those sounds. And then in words with non-Germanic, Latin, Greek, etc. roots, the V is actually pronounced the same as the English V. So every once in a while, a word that's obviously not Germanic in origin, it looks like a Latin word or a Greek word, then you just do the V as if it were English. So Universität, renoviert, privat. So it's not Universität, it's Universität. If it followed this rule, like Vater, für, Universität, no, it's Universität. So you will see the V pronounced like English V in these cases. Universität, renoviert, privat. So there are lots of words like this. You just have to be able to tell, does that look German or does that look Latin or Greek? And that will tell you. And then the S's, yeah. When the S comes before a vowel at the beginning of a syllable, it actually sounds like English Z. It's a voice, the voiced version. So Sohn, Sie, sechs, Nase, sieben, Saarland. So beginning of the word, and then if it's the beginning of a syllable, like Nase, it also gets it. Yeah, Nase. You can tell if it's between two vowels like this, it's going to be the Z sound like that. So kind of by default, the S, if it's at the end of the word, it's more, it's a different sound. But a lot of times the S sounds more like a Z, Sohn. Yeah. An unvoiced S sound occurs at the end of a syllable, and then always unvoiced S with the double S or the S set, which is this S set. That's the same as a double S. You could replace it with a double S if you don't have the right keyboard at the moment, for example. So S is, for example, at the end of a syllable, das. So it's not like does, it's das. So these were all Z sounds, and this is a S sound. So das, aus, bis, bisher. So it's at the end of a syllable because her is a separate syllable. So bisher. And then the double S is das. So it sounds the same. Das and das sound the same. Adresse, Pass, müssen. And then the S set, which is the same as the double S. Weiß, aßen, Maß, heißen. Yeah. Okay, and then this is a fun feature of German phonetics. SCH sounds like English SH. That makes sense. Like Schule and school is different, but they're equivalent words. Shoe is one. Schuh, no, it's SCH. Yeah, SCH UH is Schuh, and then English SHOE, shoe, right? So those are the equivalents. SCH is same sound, and often a lot of parallel words with SH. But then SP, ST they sound like you're inserting an H in the middle of them. So we have, for example, die Schweiz. This is normal SCH, as you would expect. Die Schweiz, Schule, schwarz, schön. But then the SP, spielen. So you might be tempted to say spielen, which is hard for me to say. Spielen, but it's actually spielen. Spielen. Sprechen. Später. Spaß. And then the same thing with the ST. Stunde. So you might want to say like Stunde, but it's Stunde. Start. Stuhl. Stehen. All right, and then we've got some more S sounds. So we had that already. The TS is pizza or hits, right? But this sound also occurs in the suffix tion. So all these loan words that end in tion are going to have that same s sound. And then we have another sort of related sound is zw, ZW, zw. So let's look at some of these. A normal S at the beginning of a syllable, we'll just review these to contrast them. Sohn, super, Sonne, September. So that's the normal S. And then the Z is Zone. So you hear the difference between Sohn and Zone. TS, very different sound. Zone. Zoo. So it's like you're saying TSO. Zoo. Zucker. Heizung. That means heating. So the TS in the middle. It's like saying Heit and then Zung. Heizung. And then sometimes we have this combination. Jetzt. Arzt. And then Sion is Nation. So it's like saying nut and then the S, like the TS in there. Nation. Station. Information. And then the ZW occurs a lot. Zwei. So it's like saying TSV. TSV, zwei. Or, of course, ZW. 12. zwischen, Zwillinge. Okay, now we have some more of these diphthongs. Let's review these. So, eins, zwei, Herr Meier, Herr Seiler, Herr Bayer. All of those make the same sound. Then we have some examples to practice. Heike Bayer und Heinz Frey heiraten am 2. Mai. And then here's a new diphthong, au. So, au, au is au. So, brauchen, laufen, kaufen, Haus, blau, braun. So you might remember this one by thinking about Haus. If you know that Haus is spelled A-U, then it sounds similar to English house. Oh, Haus. In German, when we say house in English, we put more emphasis on the A and less on the U. It's A-U in both cases. That's the diphthong, A-U. But in English, it's in American English, especially, it's A-U, house. And then in German, there's a little bit more emphasis on the U sound. So if you want to say it and sound more German, you can sort of think about emphasizing that U sound, Haus, and then that'll sort of balance it out more where you get to the German Haus. Yeah. Okay, so let's practice this one. Paul, du bist zu laut. Ich glaube, du bist blau. So this means, Paul, you are too loud, or you're being too loud. I think, or I believe, it literally says you are blue, but blue is a euphemism for drunk. So Paul, you're being too loud. I think you're drunk. And then oi and oi. So both of these, EU and a umlaut u, make oi sound. Oi, oi, oi. So pretend you are a punk rocker from the 80s. This is heute. You may have encountered heute already, meaning today. So let's go through these. Heute, teuer, neu, Häuser, Mäuse, Verkäufer. Yeah, so both of those are the same sound. Oi, oi. So that's the plural. Haus is singular, and then Häuser is the plural. Haus, Häuser. And then this is also Maus. The singular is Maus, same as Haus. Haus, Maus. And then the plural is Mäuse. Different endings, though, but the same vowel change. Okay, so then here's one practice sentence. Wer ist Frau Bäuerles neuer Freund? Ein Verkäufer aus Bayreuth. Okay, consonants at the end of a word or syllable or before a final T or ST become unvoiced. So a voiced consonant is, for example, B, and then an unvoiced is P. So these are the equivalent. They're the same sound. It's the same mouth shape, but then you don't use your voice box. You don't use your larynx to make them. So that's why those two sounds exist. They're just the same sound, but with voiced versus unvoiced. So what happens is that if you see the B at the end of the word, it actually is pronounced as a P. It's pronounced unvoiced. So there are several, this phenomenon happens with BP, DT, and GK. So we'll compare at the beginning of a word versus at the end of a word. It sounds different. So this is Ball, as you would expect. Ball, with a B. Ball. But then let's look at a B at the end of the word, Gelb. So, Ball, Gelb. See how it sounds more like a P? Gelb. Urlaub. Geben, beginning of a syllable. Geben. Gibt. So it's before the final T or ST, so it kind of counts as the end of a syllable. Gibt. So it sounds like GBPT. Gibt. Yeah. Haben, normal B, beginning of a syllable. But then habt. Haben, habt. Herbst. Before it, ST, counts as the end of a syllable. Herbst. Okay, same thing with D changing into T sound. So Hunde, beginning of a syllable, and then Hund at the end of the word. Hunde, Hund. Sounds like a T. Kinder, Kind. Sounds like a T. Kind. Finden, normal D. Finden. Gegend. Sounds more like a T. Baden. Bad. Stunde. Stand. Ende. Sind. And then same thing happens going from the G to the K. Tage, normal G sound. Tage. Tag. Sounds more like a K. Tag. Frage. Morgen. Teig. Weg. Krieg. Okay. Then the R. This is the pièce de résistance, of course, in German pronunciation, I think. The R. The R before a vowel sounds a bit like the French R, or sometimes a German CH as in auch. So it's called a uvular trill. You have a uvula. The uvula is a thing that hangs in the back of your throat, and you trill it. So it's always fun to trill one's uvula. So we have rot. Richtig. Rakete. Rufen. Reaktion. Groß. So those are before the vowel. And then after a vowel, it's subtle, and it simply colors the vowel that it comes after. So it almost sounds like it's been swallowed, but it's still there. So I have some words where there's no vowel, it just ends with a vowel, and then words where there's an R after the vowel, and you can hear the difference. So this is just normal, no R. Meine. But then with the R, meiner. But then when I'm teaching, sometimes I will emphasize that R, and people will do that sometimes if they need to, for some reason, make sure someone hears it. If there's like a question of like something sounds similar, but they want to make sure they're understood, people will do that in real life sometimes. But so if I want to emphasize this for some reason, I would say meiner, and I would actually do the uvular trill. But in real life, usually it's meiner. So let's do the pairs again so you can see the difference or hear the difference between these two. Meine, meiner. Ihre, ihrer. Biene, Bier. Vieh, Vier. Zieh, Zier. Yeah. Okay, and then we have some more. Oh yeah, Zimmer, hier, Durst, Karte, Pferd. Yeah. And some dialects, they do actually do a trill for this. It will be like oh, I can't even do it. In some southern dialects, they do trill this kind of an R. Durst. Yeah, Durst would sound very Austrian, sound Bavarian or Austrian, or there's some southern dialects where you will hear Durst, which is a trill. I guess it's alveolar trill. It's a trill towards the front. The uvular trill is trilling the back. R, r, trill the back. But then the other trill, the typical trill that you get in Spanish or something, is the trill at the front, and that's Durst, which you will find in some dialects. Yes. So let's try these. Rita und Richard sitzen immer im Zimmer. Rita und Richard sehen gern fern. Robert und Rosi spielen Karten im Garten. Robert und Rosi trinken Bier für 4. Gestern war Ralf hier und dort. Morgen fährt er wieder fort. Horst ist hier. Horst will Wurst. Horst will Bier für seinen Durst. All right, now we have some more tongue twisters. Zungenbrecher. Let's do these. Radfahrer Ron radelt rum. Rauchlachs mit Lauchreis. Lauchreis mit Rauchlachs. Rege, Redner, Regen. Oh, no, I already messed it up. Here we go. That's why it's a tongue twister. Rege, Redner, reden, Rege, reden bei Regen. This means energetic speakers talk energetic or speeches or give speeches in the rain. Yeah. Okay. So, Reni lehrt Leni rechts lang laufen. Robert lobt lange Ritas liebe Rede. All right, I hope you had fun with the pronunciation exercises, and as always, let me know whenever you have any questions. This isn't every single sound in German, but these are the big ones that people usually want to learn in the beginning. So let me know whenever you have any questions, und wir sehen uns dann im nächsten Video. Tschüss, auf Wiedersehen, bis bald.